Part of you that wishes that maybe see what happened with his jaw now that the fight didn't go on?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, but again, like I said, you know, Oscar's a warrior. It was his decision number one to move forward with the fight, and just as remarkable what he did after that fifth round. And I understand, Carl. I understand that Scott Quigg has a broken nose as well. That's my understanding. So wow. I mean, both of these guys are warriors. Unfortunately, you know, the circumstances could have been a lot different if perhaps he would have made weight. Maybe we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now.
Manny, how is he now? I mean,
Oscar?
when you took him to the hospital.
Oh man, Oscar! I'm telling you, Oscar, he's laughing and yeah, Oscar's a warrior, man. He's laughing. He's like, hey, you know, he's a Mexican warrior. What can you say about him, man? He's the epitome of a Aztec warrior.
When we saw it on the screen here, it looked like there was a pool of blood near Oscar's corner. That was his blood?
Absolutely. He wouldn't stop bleeding from his mouth, and what we try to do is just to keep the mouthpiece in his mouth and not remove it, of course, and work on that.
Was that in the 6th or 7th? Fifth was it?
Manny, you said is his jaw broken then?
I want to say it. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's what it looks like.
Oscar's a great action
said-
fighter, of course, but there's no way that he can retain his current, form and keep beating wars like this. Just not humanly possible, right?
Well, you know what I mean. If Oscar doesn't knock anybody, I mean, what fighter? I mean, Marriaga's the number one contender in the world, man. Hennessy Cervantes is an undefeated fighter. Now Scott Quigg is a former world champion. When has Oscar had it easy? Oscar's never had it easy, but he's a warrior. He's who he is. Of course, he's got to do better. He's got to get better. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances, fighting with a broken jaw, I mean, I thought he did great, considering the fact that he fought with a broken jaw and being able to box and beat him to the punch and stick and move. And of course, you can't discredit Quigg. I mean, he's a former world champion.
Did you take that mouthpiece out after the fight? I mean, after
it was after the fight.
No, I don't mean after the fight. I mean, after you left it in. Did you at any point after?
Yes, I did. You know what? I did, but I don't remember if I don't recall. I did because he doesn't like me pulling his mouthpiece out of his mouth.
So you did take it out.
So I did take it out, but I don't think I did after. Once Miguel Diaz came in and he started working on the situation, I left it at that.
Did he lose teeth?
So you just left it in over the last 6 rounds?
Yes.
Okay.
He lost teeth?
No, but man, if I could, I wish I could explain. I mean, it's just like his teeth are separated, like part of his jaw is like in.
Manny,
you know what I mean?
Manny, I don't know if you answered this. How much do you think the fact that you guys fought a welterweight affected the physicality of the fight?
Oh, big time. I mean, there was a situation where Oscar heard Scott Quigg, but he took it well. I believe it was in the 11th round, leading into the 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with a big
right at the
shot,
end of the
body shot.
round, he took it very well.
Manny,
But
the thing that was like, through all of what happened like the last 24 hours, is this like sweet, the victory, just like
it's very sweet. And first of all, another thing, I would like to apologize. There was an altercation in the corner with the Scott Quigg team, and I would like to apologize. Some words were said in the corner, and I would like to publicly apologize to their team because Scott Quigg, I understand he didn't make weight. It's unprofessional, but that doesn't take anything away from him, and he's a warrior. So I'd like to apologize to Scott Quigg and his team. And I wish he was here. I will apologize for saying. But sometimes, the heat of the moment, and things are said, and then, and
It
then
looked like you were
not
kicking
making
off with
weight.
Eddie Hearn.
Pardon me?
It looked like you and Eddie
I don't want to
Hearn
mess with Eddie Hearn. He'll kick my ass.
Manny,
I saw him coming. I was like,
Did you take Quigg to the hospital?
Manny, you said Quigg broke something as well from what you heard?
I understand. I heard in the ring after the fight that he broke his nose. So I don't know how.
Look at his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, I mean, the
But do we know if he went to the
guy's a
hospital?
warrior, man.
No,
He's a warrior.
I don't think he went to the hospital. Oscar went to the hospital.
That's what I heard. I mean, I don't know.
They said he outweighed Oscar by 7 pounds on the broadcast. Do you think it was that much or more?
Because Oscar's the type of fighter that doesn't get
135 to 142 and change.
Yes.
135?
Yeah, Oscar doesn't
135.6 for Valdez, 142.2 for Quigg.
Oscar's
One
the
name, one
One weight class difference.
Yeah.
Are you looking for Valdez to maybe have a little bit softer touch the next time out? You said
You know what? I'm no one to decide on that. I'm no one to say that. We leave that up to the promoter, top rank, of course, and his manager. I'm the coach, you know, but I leave that up to them. Whatever they decide they want to do, and you know, whichever direction they want to take is, you know, I'm his coach, and I'm here to do as I'm told.
Manny,
Manny,
you
by
say
now-
you wish the fight hadn't gone ahead, but surely your man's stock has risen incredibly after that contest.
Correct. I mean, it should. It should. I mean, it goes
It's
to
the
show
fight of
you.
the year, isn't
It
it?
goes to probably again. It should. I mean, Oscar's a warrior again, man. I'm very proud of Oscar. He has no quit in him. You guys have no idea how hard this kid works, and how much he wants to please his people, his fans, his Mexican heritage, if you will, and he just wants to go down as one of the best fighters in the featherweight division, particularly because he has no problem making 126. And if you ask Oscar, he's willing to fight any of the world champions.
Could we see him come to the UK?
You know what? I personally, someone asked me earlier what fight would I like to see for Oscar. I like to see a fight called France.
He's been in three. Manny, he's been in 3 straight wars. How much longer can he continue to fight?
Well, you know what? Again, of course, what happens when the public sees him fight lesser of a fighter? Oh, he's fighting the bum. Oh, look, he's fighting no ones. I mean, you know, Oscar wants to fight the best, and he really takes it to heart as far as the way people feel about him, and how the public feels about him, the way they. So, you know, he wants to please the fans. He wants to please his people. Yes, and but yeah, definitely. I mean, I would like to see him fight. You know, maybe get a tuna fight, and then obviously. But like I said, I don't decide that. I don't decide that. Again, we leave that up to his promoter and his manager.
Manny, as a person personally working with him through his career, does this type of performance surprise you? Because, like, do you feel like, wow, he put on really great performance again? Like,
You know what, Oscar? He listened in the corner. If you notice, there were rounds where he didn't sit there and bang. I mean, he actually boxed. He actually stick and move, beat him to the punch, stepped under, good lateral movement. There was a lot of good things Oscar did as far as boxing is concerned. Correct. But then again, you know, I mean, he'll sit in the pocket and he'll go to the body and he'll bang with the fighter but just understanding that. You have to be able to, as a coach, dictate the situation, yes? Fight. In other words, he's got to be the one dictating the tempo in the ring as far as when to fight, when not to fight, when to box. It was everything. I mean, he made Scott Quaid miss a lot. But again, Scott Quaid, man, he's a warrior. Come on. And if anybody hasn't seen Scott Quaid fight before, he's going to be on your ass from round number 1 to round number 12. So he's been in lots of wars and he's used to this.
Manny.
So it doesn't surprise me that Scott fought this way.
Manny, what was going through your mind in the 5th round when it looked like Quick had Valdez momentarily hurt? And do you think that moment happens without the weight advantage?
You know what? Maybe, because that's a lot of weight that you're carrying. Come on, it's just, I mean, when Oscar caught the guy, he stuttered Scott, but momentarily, and he came right back at him. And he caught him several times with, you know, to the head, to the body, and he took his punches very well, better than anyone else ever has. You know, I was asked this question: do you think Freddie, you know, and Scott Quick's team did this on purpose? Do you think that it was deliberate, that they didn't make weight? Well, I don't know. I mean, who wants to give up 20% of their purse and not fight for a world title, right? I doubt that very much. What were the reasons why Scott Quick didn't make weight?
well, he explained, didn't he, that he fractured his foot a month ago.
I don't know. You're telling me
He told
this
us
now.
afterwards.
I mean, if he had a fractured foot, I don't think he
did all right for a fractured foot, though, didn't he?
He did very well for a fractured foot. I mean, I don't know if I can believe that or not, really.
Manny, we've heard some of the plans with Valdez is to hope to build him into a top prize fighting featherweight like Morales and Barrera. He's definitely a top prize fighter, but do you think he's approaching or at the level that those guys were at in terms of
Oh
their
man, we got
skill?
some big shoes to fill, man. And we gotta stay grounded, man. We gotta stay humble, man. And we leave that up to the public, up to the media, and you guys decide if he's there or not. We just gotta keep working. We gotta keep pushing forward.
Did you find it suspicious or dubious they wouldn't do a second day weigh-in?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
Come on.
Why wasn't that enforced?
Are you
then?
kidding me? I have no idea. I don't have anything to do with that. I mean,
Todd?
but I wish I
Do you
knew.
know why the second day weigh-in wasn't enforced?
Enforced.
Well-
There is no, the IBF is the only organization that officially does a second day.
Right, but and a lot of times when a fighter doesn't make weight, it is actually protocol to say, wait, let's try to work something out to make it fair. I think there was a legitimate reason why Quigg didn't make weight. But I've seen a lot of fights where they say, okay, if you don't make weight, you do a second day weigh-in.
Well, listen, I think that the agreement that they had, obviously they asked for a second day weigh-in. Quigg refused to do that. And I think rather than sit here and say, point fingers at people, I think you give credit to the people that got jump in the ring and to Oscar and his team that say, listen, we're gonna give this guy, we're gonna take him on. He wants to cut some corners and have an unfair advantage, if that's what you wanna say. We wanna fight. And, you tip your hat to the guys that take credit and, put all the BS aside and go to be a fighter. So
Manny,
I can't answer that for you.
How much did this fight? How much did this fight going down have to do with Oscar wanting it? Did you guys try and talk him out of it, and it was him at the end of it, or how'd that go about?
You know what? This decision was made by his manager, his father, Oscar. But at the end of the day, it was Oscar's.
I mean, I think when you talk about Oscar Valdez, I mean, listen, we all see fighters, right? We all see fighters, right? And we get emotionally involved, and Manny's next to him and everything. And as much as he tells Oscar, don't stay in the pocket, the kid loves to stay in the pocket. So it's in his DNA. He wants to be a fighter. So anybody telling him something that you think is the rational thing to do, which is make him have a second day weigh-in or not take the fight or whatever it is, it's the same deaf ears that he gets when he says, don't pull straight back, don't go to the ropes, don't do those things. He's a warrior. That's in his DNA.
Manny, you mentioned that Oscar has been in, plenty of wars. These last few fights with Cervania, and then the one before that. You as a trainer, what would you recommend? Would you pretty much rest him for the rest of the year?
Well, we'll wait and see what type of result we receive from the doctors. But styles make fights, man. Styles make fights. If you put Oscar in with Mariaga, you're gonna get fireworks. With Hennessy Cervania, studying the tape, you're gonna get fireworks.
You put him in with me, he'll put on fireworks.
And then again with Scott Quigg, you could put him in with Scott Quigg. Come on, it was a given. You all knew you were gonna get fireworks. I don't think anybody was wrong about the fight. Scott Quigg is a warrior. He comes forward and he comes to fight. Now, on the other hand, Oscar, I think Oscar he proved that he's a more complete fighter. He proved that he can bang, he can box, he can make you miss, he can make you pay. He did a lot of good, positive things tonight.
And
considering the fight.
what Manny's saying is you can see, which is wonderful, when you see a young kid mature over the body of work. And we saw in the Mariaga fight where he was still young, and then you saw in where he was learning some stuff, and all that fight and the Cervania fight made him be able to conquer what he had to do tonight. If he didn't have those fights, he probably couldn't have conquered what he did.
I was just about to tell you that. I was just about to mention that right now. If Oscar doesn't have the Mariaga fight and the Cervania fight, maybe Oscar wouldn't have gone past 6, 7, 8 rounds.
Right.
But it was due to those fights that Oscar was able to go 12 rounds the way he did today. These type of sometimes everybody likes to see knockouts, but what Oscar has to understand prior to these last 3 fights, Oscar was used to knocking everybody out. Oscar, you're not gonna knock everybody out. Oscar, you gotta learn to go rounds. It's so valuable to go into deep waters and go 12 rounds, because at the end of the day, that's what those fights, that's what they got us here. If it wasn't, thank you. If it wasn't for those fights, as a promoter, I gotta thank him, because if it wasn't for those fights, Oscar doesn't go the 12 rounds the way he did tonight.
And also to see, the last 3 rounds where he comes on, right? That's the maturity, right? A lot of times you see the young kids fade at the end. but he started coming on in the last 3 rounds and, you know, went through adversity.
On that point, Manny, maybe did you tell him to come out and win the 9th because he came out hard in the 9th? He came back very hard in the 9th.
Yes,
It's like you told him.
yeah, those are the
come out,
championship rounds,
You
man.
win that round, you won the fight. You
Those are the championship rounds. You know, you're going into the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th round. We all understand those are the championship rounds. Those are, you know, that's when you show what you're made of. You know, and
Hey Todd,
to give it.
this you guys have hosted plenty of cards here. Where does this rank at? You know,
The wettest.
obviously.
I mean, listen. I mean, you know, there's something about this building. You know, there really is something about the building. You know, as somebody that puts on events and wants to, you know, give the fight fans great events. You also want environmentally to be terrific. And all week I'm sitting on my phone looking at this weather and I'm like, come on, be wrong for once, right? I mean, why does it say 100% chance of rain on Saturday, right? So I think the memory of this is, it was a pretty unique environment. It was pretty unique to see to feel the rain coming down, to see it, and to see everybody in ponchos in the crowd. You know, it was kind of special. And once again, you had a great show. And, you know, our matchmakers put on, you know, a terrific show. And every guy knows, every fighter knows when he walks through that tunnel, this building, for some reason, if it's, you know, Bradley and Provatnikov or Alvarado and Rios, the walls are special here. And these kids give it, and, you know, it was great. Like I said to, you know, I get a text from, you know, from Matthew Macklin, who's calling it for Scott. I get a text from him and he says, I look forward to the fight, and I said, well, it's going to be like a pitch, not a ring. That's what it felt like out there.
Where do you think Oscar Valdez